Okay, we're back after a couple of months off, not making any videos. Um, as you know, I've made many videos on the books that I've written: Metaphysics of Being, House on the Hill, the Ontology Dialogues, and Being in Time. I've decided I'm going to write the fifth book called The Journey to Qualia, and I was going to talk in this video about some of the ideas that just came to me. Um, the glass bead game is the synthesizing of all of the greatest ideas in history to create the ultimate perfect reality. That's what we've been talking about. All of these members of the secret society on the house on the hill. The glass bead game was this concept and book written by Hermann Hesse, so I've expanded on that. And now we're going to expand this in the next book, The Journey to Qualia, in which I'm going to go on a journey and meet all of these individuals throughout the world and at different points in time, and have discussions with them. I like to use dialogue in my books, and they're going to give me the pronouncements of the glass bead game. Since this is like a religion to me, and this is for my own personal amusement and enjoyment, and has nothing to do with regular society or real religions or anything. So I thought I would just read some of these pronouncements. I kind of made a bullet point summary at this point and just talk about them a little bit in this introduction. The first pronouncement is life is temporary and limited. The second, I think that most everybody would agree with that. We're going to die someday. Every moment in time is a holy sacrament. We've talked about many times about these journeys to Mount Everest where you lose yourself, and these are like transcendent moments in time, creating a great work of art or hearing a symphony or some of these special events which are outstanding, but given that life is temporary and limited, you need to view every day and every moment of your life as a special moment. And Ayn Rand talked about this, given that upon death you become a nothing, means that the moments that we are experiencing, you need to appreciate those to their highest level to give life meaning and purpose, and appreciate the temporal existence that we have. Next statement is controversial to many. There is no God. If God was perfect, he would not have created a universe that was imperfect, had evil, suffering, death, and disease, and all of the other things that we've talked about many times. So we're just going by, in the glass bead game, that there is no God. Next pronouncement. There is no ultimate truth, meaning, or purpose to the universe. If there was an ultimate truth, that would be a limit. So since the universe is infinite and unlimited, and that's one of the pronouncements of the glass bead game, or beliefs of the glass bead game, there couldn't be one defining truth, because that would be a limit in itself. So again, there is no ultimate truth, meaning, or purpose to the universe. We as individuals give meaning and purpose and truth to our own lives. Nothing is at the foundation of everything. This fascination with nothingness, the Greeks started this 5,000 years ago, talking about this concept of nothing. Upon death you become a nothing. Where did the universe come from? There seems like it's a nothing, came out of nothing. before you were born you were a nothing, when you die you're becoming a nothing. So we're engulfed in this nothingness. So the statement is nothing is at the foundation of everything. It's kind of a paradoxical statement. The mind creates reality. This is proven by science and quantum mechanics and the double slit experiment, the collapse of the wave function. So this is kind of contrary to what everyday thinking would be, but the mind does create reality. It's scientifically proven. All reality exists within the mind. Reality does not exist outside the mind. So this takes it even one step further, like a George Berkeley idealism, that everything, all experience and perception of reality has to exist within a mind, and that upon your death there is no outside world. And we talked about this in the fourth book, Being in Time. There was a dialogue about this, and that is, I'm saying, a pronouncement of the glass bead game, which is going to be included in the journey to Qualia. Perceived reality is limited. We view the world in a discrete manner. That's proven by Planck and everyone. Is just we are viewing the world in a limited, discrete way. We do not view the infinite nature of the universe. If there was a God, he is responsible for all evil, suffering, death, disease, and imperfection. And this is a controversial statement, but it's true. If you were a perfect God and being, why would you create a universe that had evil and suffering and nuclear holocausts and people burning in fires and all those imperfections? You wouldn't. Next statement. Glass bead game players are higher than God since they seek perfection, beauty, love, art, creativity, infinity, and transcendence. So this is kind of the Nietzsche overman type of idea, and this isn't a view that is shuns other religions or people or anything. It's just the members of the glass bead game seek this perfect reality, at least in the glass bead game that I've created. So Michelangelo and all the other great musicians and great artists and everybody seeking this perfect reality are higher than God that would have created evil and suffering and death and imperfection. Death is a state of nothingness. Upon your death, you're going to become nothing for all eternity. So that's just a fact, and that's a statement here in the glass bead game pronouncements. But it's not all gloom and doom in this next statement. Nothing merges with infinity upon death. Charles Seif, in his book Zero, Biography of a Dangerous Idea, and many of the other mathematicians, and in the book Metaphysics of Being, we talk about this mathematically, nothing merging with infinity, and there's reasons for that. Death is a state of perfection. Upon death, you become a nothing, and because it is a nothingness, it doesn't contain the imperfections that are within a limited, discrete concept or existence. So that's something difficult to grasp, but it's trying to view this eternal state that we're all going to attain someday, a nothingness upon our death, trying to put a positive spin on that, possibly. Existence is a grand accident. That is the only explanation of why there would be evil and suffering and disease and all of these things. God couldn't have planned to make things that way if he was all loving and all perfect. So existence has to be some sort of just grand accident. The glass bead game is a religion. This thought came to me a couple days ago. It is almost like I've created this religion here, or Herman Hesse did with the glass bead game, that it's this special place. Andre Gregory talked about this sanctuaries, pockets of light with all the evil around it, but within the perfect reality of beauty and creativity and perfect state of being within the glass bead game. It's like it is a religion. The Magister Ludi is the highest god at any given point in time. So since the glass bead game is seeking a perfect existence, and God, we said, is responsible for all the imperfections and evil and all that, the members of the glass bead game are higher than God, which is a really crazy statement, but that's just something that popped into my head the other day. The current Magister Ludi is myself. Since this is my game, my reality, right now I am the Magister Ludi. And then there's many members that have a special status within the game. Hermann Hesse, Alan Watts, Plato, Parmenides, Zeno, Michelangelo, Heraclitus, John Keats, Leo Buscaglia, Friedrich Nietzsche, Andre Gregory, Richard Bach, Euclid, George Berkeley, probably Leibniz. They have Ayn Rand, Anaxagoras, F.H. Bradley. They have a special status. There's many members in this, but they're almost like first lieutenants in the glass bead game. The purpose of the glass bead game is to synthesize the greatest ideas of all time to create an ultimate perfect reality. Again, this we've talked about before, and that's the statement. Reality is an illusion. This kind of goes back to Plato, his idea of Platonic forms. Kant talked about this, that we can never perceive ultimate reality, that things have a nature in themselves outside of reality. Kurt Gödel talked about this in his incompleteness theorem, that reality is almost like an illusion. It's very elusive. I mean, if you stick a needle in my eye, it's going to hurt, and it's very real, but the nature of reality at its foundation is all very elusive. And then absolute freedom can only be attained upon death or the complete elimination of the mind. So upon death, when you become a nothing, you attain absolute freedom, because you're not limited any longer. And also, it's a state of nothingness, so there is no mind, there is no experience, there's no concepts or discreteness to it. So it's just a fact of nature, the way things are. So that's just a quick introduction to the Journey to Qualia, which is going to be the 5th book that I decided I'm going to start, and that's just a general outline that just came to me. And again, this term qualia, I've talked about this a little bit in the past, is this undefined nature to existence. It's the experience of love, joy, beauty, meaning, creativity, all of these special things. And Ayn Rand talked about this in her Metaphysics, aesthetics, the beauty, all of these things that give meaning to our existence, that can't be defined by science. That is what's most important in all of your existence and your being, that it cannot be defined, and it's this beauty, this transcendence, this perfection outside of perceived reality.